Hello, Margaret. Wouldn't tracking digital mentions in real time make the difference for your communication strategy? Fortunately, there's an easy way to tune into the flood of digital media called Meltwater, your key to intelligence at any scale. With Meltwater, you can track everything from sentiment analysis to media coverage in real time and get crucial insights. I'd like to learn more about your priorities as Chief Communications Officer and discover the potential this information could unlock. How is your 10 a.m. this Friday for a quick call? Kind regards. In this case, the target executive is Margaret Teo, who is the Chief Communications Officer at SMRT in Singapore. I found their email on hunter.io, which is an online email verification service, and I double-checked that it was actually the right format because many other emails from the company appear online in that format as well. The research I did on SMRT included its communication, how it responds to many customer complaints, what its current media strategy is, and a little bit about the current executive themselves. They recently entered this position only a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, so I wanted to understand what problems they faced. It was very useful to find this particular article on them. In the subject line that I have this email, it starts about the problem and then getting them thinking about the particular solution in this case. And that's very similar to the actual structure of the email. I have an open-ended question at the start, which gets them interested in reading more. And then I have the actual proposed solution in this case, the elements of the solution that I think best address the pain points that I found through research. I actually structured it this way so that it's very relevant to the context and the specific issues that the person faces. It doesn't just look like a average cookie cutter email that you would send out to 1,000 different contacts. I think the actual CTA in this case is also very appropriate because we know very little about the company. We know very little about it in the case of what their current priorities are, what might have changed since these news articles came out. And it's just better to get an inside view before we go and start saying that we are the solution to every problem they have in media intelligence. Hey Margaret, this is Andrew from Meltwater. Just following up on my last email, I wanted to give you a little bit more context about how we can help the SMRT in Singapore. So I'm sure that a company on your scale gets thousands of mentions every single day on social media across all other news channels. And it's very important to be able to derive the insights from not only every single one of those, but also if you can scale up to the 30,000 foot view and see what are the prevailing trends in that media intelligence that you can take advantage of in your role. So we actually help you do that. We help you collect, analyze, and interpret all of this information in one place and help you act on millions of data points just at the click of a button. In this case, I think it would be very beneficial to have a call next Monday to go over this, to explain a little bit more about the solution and what your problems are. Do you have time at 10 a.m. on Monday? Thank you very much. Bye. So looking back at the 60-second video that I just sent, essentially we walked through again the problems that they're facing in a particular context, our solution, and why I think we should have a next meeting. And that's the CPA is very important because we haven't gotten any action from her yet. So we have to actually have a chance to sit down and identify what problems they're facing that are important to them. To avoid being picked up by spam filters, you have to avoid keywords that are seen as spammy by these filters. You can't use red flags like profit or save or that. The CISL is very, very draconian in this legislation. I think what we did is actually going to be illegal in that case. However, a judge or a lawyer looking at this would realize that if you send 2 or 3 cold emails and you don't actually get a response, nobody is going to make a huge fine on that case in a sales context. It's a little bit of a gray area when it's not applied to a specific opt-in list for marketing in this case. US CAN-SPAM law, which is the primary act in this case, is actually less draconian. You can send cold emails in a business context as long as you follow a few key guidelines, and these are reasonable, like don't have a deceptive subject line, provide clear opportunities to opt out, and so forth.